Hey guys, it's Adam, and welcome back to my channel. I've been doing a lot of reading on how to get passion flowers to really perform at their very best, because I know I can probably get a really nice big plant, and I'm pretty good at getting, a couple of blooms every time I have one. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to see if there was any way I could, increase those chances, just kind of give them a better place where they are, a better home where they'll be even happier than I normally get them to be. And I have two of them this year. I've got a Passiflora. I don't know if this is a Julius or maybe it's cereal or however you pronounce it. And then this one is incense. And they grow really quickly. So my plan is I've only got enough potting mix right now to plant my incense into the full-size pot, and I think that the smaller one is a little bit too small to plant in its full-size pot. So what I'm going to do, I think if I take about enough soil out of the big pot that I'm going to be planting this one in and just place it into this pot, then it should be just about enough that I'm creating a good enough size hole for my incense, and also be able to fill the small pot so that I can add my smaller passion flower to this nursery pot, which will be a couple sizes up, and it can fill this one out before I give it its permanent new location. So yeah, here. So from what I've read, they like a big pot. Whenever you repot it, it should be a nice and large pot because these vines get big and their root systems should be able to get as big as they should be able to get really big really quickly. So you want to make sure that you give their root systems enough room. So that's what I'll be doing here. So now I've got kind of a hole started in here, and yeah, one sec. So I think the hardest part is going to be removing the root ball and the trellis at the same time. So I've really kind of loosened the root ball by going like that, and I also unhooked the trellis from the sides of the pot. It kind of latched on with some latches. I'll put the trellis back in a sec. I might just have to unwind this thing because it's really not. It really hasn't wrapped its tendrils around the trellis too much. It's just kind of woven in there, so I probably am going to have to very carefully, and I'll put the phone down for it so I can do it with both hands to make sure I'm extra careful not to break the stems. Just kind of unweave it, and then I'll be able to take it out. Okay, it's out. You can see it's a nice, really nice plant. It's got a new growth bud down here, and yeah, so I believe this hole should be about the right size. So we can get it out and plant it in here, and I will put the trellis back, or I'll put the trellis in here as well, so that it has something to climb up. And then in the summer, well, in later spring, when I know for a fact that it's going to be warmer, and I'll just remove this lower leaf here, just because it kind of snapped off. Later in the summer, when it's a little warmer, or in the spring when it's a little warmer, sorry, I will move this outside, and I'll either put it on a fence or on a big trellis, probably on a fence. So here is the root ball, and it looks really good, really healthy. So, and I believe that might even be some plant food there, kind of around right here. Looks like it's probably some plant food of some sort. So yeah, very healthy, very nice. That's why I love clovers. So yeah, I potted it up now, and it is kind of floppy looking, so I'm going to go ahead and put the trellis back, because much as I love trailing plants, and I believe that if I put this in a hanging basket and it was really well branched, it might actually make a really nice trailer. This particular plant at this time is not going to make a good candidate for that. Plus, that's not really what I want it to do. I want it to climb, so I have to fidget with that. But I'll do that a little bit later. Now let's deal with this other one. I removed some of the soil from this and put it into another pot so that I have some soil to fill around the root ball. And I don't know how rooted this is going to be, but I will move it regardless, just because I want this to grow quickly. Typically with these faster growing plants, giving it a larger pot every so often. Sends them into a growth spurt. Oh, this guy's a little root bound. This one is actually quite a bit more root bound than I expected it to be. Although it is quite a small pot, and so yeah, this guy's very root bound. No wonder it. I really do think that changing this pot, changing it to a larger pot, is just gonna jumpstart this growth. And I will also be checking to see if there's any specific fertilizers that I should use for getting passion fruits to flower. Obviously, having healthy foliage and root systems is the first priority for me before it flowers. I really want my plant to be in good health, and I can learn to appreciate good foliage. I cannot learn to appreciate a plant in poor condition, because the flowers were all anyone cared about. So I want it to be in the best possible health. So yeah, but I will be checking to see if there's any sort of fertilizer that I should feed it with to make sure that it will flower, because these are very healthy plants, very nice, and that means they qualify for my kind of extra type of care stuff. I'm just gonna put this plant tag back in here, just because I know if this gets flowers, people are gonna be like, "What kind of plant is that?" So just around the neighborhood and stuff, because I've had that happen many times before when my plants are outside in the summer. So here we go. I gotta twist this thing back up the trellis, and I'll be back when I finish. And there we go. Put this guy back up the trellis. Really not much room. I feel like the leaves are kind of a little bit more soft and limp than they were before I repotted it, and so I'm gonna have to water this. It's feeding day anyways, so I think I'm gonna hold off on feeding it for a week, because I want it to really adjust to the pot. I don't want it to be too shocked, so feeding it right away might not be good, but I will water both of these anyways, just because I want them to be nice and strong. But yeah, that's basically all I have. So that's repotting my passion flowers. Here's the one. Here's the other. Bye, guys.